Alright guys, YouTube says I'm live, so I must be live today. Uh, Welcome to or welcome back to the live stream, whichever way it may be. Like every weekend, I throw out the disclaimers. I'm having my cold Budweiser like always. And you may end up hearing a word of your daughter or a cuss word from time to time. I am a truck driver by trade. This is Hanging with Dave, this little live talk show that I put together. You know, I try to answer the comments and whatnot that came in for the past week, and maybe talk about some tech-related stuff when possible. I didn't get to do it last week because some personal stuff came up that I had to take care of. So yeah, this week's gonna be just Q&A. I really ain't gonna talk about nothing new, just due to the fact of the time frame of it, and I didn't do it last week. So I got quite a few comments on my videos I need to go through this week. Hope y'all don't mind. I kind of like the Q&A. It's kind of why I started this thing, was just to be able to connect with the people that comment on my videos and have y'all come join in and hang out with me. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, throw them over there in that chat, and I'll do my best to answer them the best that I can. A lot of them is tech related, you know, why is this not working, why is this not working. I try my best to answer them. I mean, without knowing the PC or not seeing the PC, it's kind of hard for me to answer all of them. But I try my best, or at least give you a starting point. So let's go ahead here, and we're going to jump into the Q&A. Let's see here. There we go. I had last week off, so I'm a little bit rusty about doing this. And if I butcher your guys' name, I apologize up front, because it does happen. I ain't very good with the English language, let alone the YouTube handles you all have. I don't think I answered this one on last week's, or last time I did the live stream. I don't think I answered this one. It was on how to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte B450 MDS3H motherboard. The weekly egg, he says, thanks a lot. I've been looking for this for a long time. You deserve more subs. Subbed. I answered back to him. I said, you're welcome. Thanks for the subs. Subs will come in time. Thanks for the sub, and thanks for watching in the comment. Let's see, also 1 week ago, which would have been last Saturday, on this was on how to update the B450 MDS3H motherboard BIOS for the Ryzen 3000 CPU. I like cleaning. Okay, 1 week ago. This video deserves way more likes. Well, thank you. I try to put out information that will help people out and to get them BIOSes updated. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. We got one here on how to update the Asus BIOS for the Asus Prime X470 Pro. Ruben Barbecue, I guess, 1 week ago. Can you help me fix my motherboard? It turns on, my screen is black when updating the BIOS. Asus Prime X370 Pro, the model of my motherboard. Thank you, and more power to your channel. It turns on, my screen's black while updating the BIOS. I know when you update your BIOS, it'll reset a few times to do it. And this is one of these ones that I was just kind of talking about. You know, I try to answer these kind of questions, but it's kind of hard without seeing what's actually going on or having it present in front of me. It turns on, but the screen is black while updating the BIOS. I know like I said, you know, I know it'll restart a few times. Your screen will go black quite a few times in the middle of the BIOS. I'm hoping you didn't power down the system while I was doing this, because if you did, you may have bricked your motherboard. But it sounds like to me that you know, if the system turns on regularly without the USB in there, it shouldn't be going black screen. Either you got the wrong BIOS downloaded, and for some reason it's letting it update the wrong BIOS, which it shouldn't be. I'll do some research on that, and I'll write back to them though. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Chris Hedges says, hey Dave, just wondering if you had to format the thumb drive to FAT32 prior to installing drives on it for the BIOS update. Thanks. That was on how to update the BIOS for the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. I'm old school, so anytime I do anything with the BIOS drivers and basically any drivers, I like FAT32. I would recommend doing FAT32 because I know the motherboard would recognize that. So yeah, I'd definitely run it as FAT32. Format the hard drive or the flash drive as FAT32 before updating the BIOS, just to make sure it's more likely to be more compatible that way, anyways. Let's see here. Amin Jamana, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to build a gaming PC in a fractal design focus G. Thanks, this was incredibly helpful. I'm about to build my first PC after dreaming about it for years, and the way you explained things was incredibly helpful. Cheers from England. Well, cheers to you and to everybody watching. I'm glad you found some useful information in there. I try to, when I would do my build guides, I try to break it down where it's pretty helpful and it's pretty informative and it's pretty easy to follow along with. But thanks for the comment and thanks for watching. Richard Rotten, 1 week ago. How to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G port 3. You push negative and plus to change the frequency and the ratios. Okay, yeah, when I was doing that overclocking guide on that 2500, or on the 2400, I'm sorry, I was kind of figuring it out on my own, kind of figuring out my way of actually getting it done. So there was quite a few mess ups. Like I said, you know, it was 3-port series. I wasn't planning on being 3-port series, but it was. That's what it ended up being. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. 1 week ago, Solder King. How to build a gaming PC in the fractal design Focus G of 2019. It says, thank you, Dave. Well, you're welcome, Solder King. I hope you found it pretty informative and it helped you, or at least you enjoyed the build, hopefully. Thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Let's see, the next one is on how to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G port 3. Voltage and frequency are black in my motherboard. That's a good question. I don't know why they'd be blacked out. I am a nobody. You're always somebody, or you wouldn't be alive. So don't quite agree with that name, but that's all right. The voltage and frequency are blacked out in my motherboard. If you're running the B450 motherboard, I don't know how to answer that. I'm not sure why it would be blacked out. I really can't help you with that, but thanks for the question and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. Waylo, 5 days ago, it was on how to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte B450 MDS3H motherboard. Can you overclock the Ryzen 7 3700X with this board? Yeah, you can. You can overclock with the you can overclock any of the Ryzen CPUs that will mount into it. Let's see, Light Plays, he's responded back to him. If you have the 3700X, don't get this motherboard, please. And most probably the power delivery is not enough for your OC, I'm assuming. I think he may have forgot the R on that one. But yeah, if you're buying the Ryzen 3700X, if you're building a new system and you're building with the 3700X, I'd probably go with a little bit higher end motherboard. Which it is a nice motherboard, it does work well. The 3700X is still going for a pretty penny. I'd probably buy a better B450 motherboard than this. The Gigabyte B450 MDS3H is a budget motherboard. And you're planning on doing the overclocking, you know, with the price of that CPU, I'd probably get a little bit better motherboard. But thanks for watching. Thanks for the comment. Thanks to Lights Play. Thanks for responding to them. Let's see here. Cool little Master Box Q300L build guide for 2019. Jordan 28, 5 days ago. XFX makes good graphics cards. Yeah, I run the XFX RX 580, 8 gig in mine. I've built with XFX graphics cards in the past. I've never had no issues with them. They may not quite overclock as well as some of the other brands do. But yeah, I've never had no problems with them. They seem to hold up fairly well. I've been running mine now, probably 8-9 months now, and I haven't had much problem with them. Of course, I run mine stock. I don't run it overclocked because my models OC'd out of the box. But yeah, I'd recommend an XFX. I mean, there are some of the cheaper graphics cards out there on the Radeon side, but they do what they're supposed to do, and they seem to hold up pretty well over time. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. How to disable the onboard graphics on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. This came in from Devon Studio Jupiter, I guess the way you pronounce that. My motherboard's on but will not display. Z370 or 2.0. Please help. That's the Intel side of things. It's a Z370. I don't have much experience with the Z370. I've never built with the Z370. Intel chips usually come with integrated graphics. The motherboard's on, but not display. This all depends on if you're trying to run the integrated graphics on that Intel chip, or Intel. Actually, a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half ago, they came out with processors that don't have onboard graphics. If you're running one of their F SKUs, they don't have onboard graphics, so you'll have to have a graphics card. If you're running a graphics card, maybe they ain't recognizing it, or maybe the graphics card ain't quite all the way plugged in. I'd check your connections, make sure it's properly installed into the PCI Express slot, x16 slot. That'd be about the best thing I could tell you without actually having the system on hand to be able to do any testing on it. I hope it helps you a little bit. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. That's there. Here's another one on how to overclock your. Here's one on how to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. 3600 megahertz RAM ran on a B450 DS3H motherboard. Question mark. 3600 megahertz. This board, if you look at the specs of this motherboard, it says that it only supports up to 2933, I believe. It's right under the 3000 megahertz speeds. But if you get a RAM kit that's above what the motherboard says it supports, you can usually manually overclock it to run higher. I run 3200 megahertz kit in mine, and I can run at 3200 megahertz without no problem. Depending on the make and the model of the RAM, I've noticed on this Gigabyte motherboard that a lot of RAM, even if it's on the QVL list, ain't really compatible. You just don't turn on XMP. For some reason, you know, even if it's on the QVL list, a lot of RAM kits on this motherboard still don't, they don't like to play with the XMP. But if you go in and you put in the same XMP settings manually, a lot of times they work fine. I don't know, I can't explain it, I don't understand. But yeah, you could run 3600 megahertz RAM on this motherboard as long as you're willing to go in and manually overclock the RAM yourself and not depend on the XMP to do so. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. That's Egmonts, Calicans, something like that. Let's see here. Anchor Manolotto. How to disable the onboard graphics on the Gigabyte B450 MDS3H motherboard. I don't have that settings in my chipset. How can I enable it? Without onboard settings. Same motherboard. I don't have that setting in my chipset. How can I enable it? Like I've said, my last few times I've got this question in, I'm not sure on what they've done to the BIOSes to take this out or why they've taken it out, but it seems like they've taken it out. Maybe I'll do a follow-up on that and go into my BIOS on that motherboard, because I do still have the motherboard even though I don't run it. It's sitting back there in the test bench. And I'll go in and maybe if I get time, maybe I'll go in and play around with that BIOS and see why so many people's having problems with it. Because whenever I did that video, of course that was a few months back, I had no problem with them settings not being there. I mean, they just showed up automatically. I've ran 3 or 4 different BIOS versions. They've always been there, so I'm not too sure on how to answer that. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. I got David Laketin, $22,000 gaming streaming editing PC build port list. Hi there, I like your videos a lot. Well, thank you. I've tried to put as much time as I can into them. Tell me please, what ports do you have in your PC? Is it for gaming, or for video cut, or making music? Well, not too much into the music, so it ain't for music. I do play games from time to time when I get time to do so. Mainly it's set up, I'm trying to get it set up, or I'm setting it up for video editing, mainly for the YouTube channel. The ports that it makes up, let me pull up my ports list here, see what my system actually is made of. It's pretty bad. You got a computer and you don't even know what ports is actually in it. I know I'm running the 2700 AMD Ryzen 7 2700. I got 32 gigs of G-Skills 5. Maybe I should have looked this up before I started the stream today. Let's see, maybe this list has got my system in it. Okay. Flip you back over here. Alright. My system that I'm running has got the Fractal Focus G case. I am running the AMD Ryzen 7 2700 8-core processor. I have the Asus X470 Pro motherboard. I have the XFX RX 580 8GB GPU. G-Skills Ripjaws 5 series 32 gigs. 216 gigs modulars running at 3200 megahertz. My power supply is the RM650 Corsair power supply, 650 watt gold certified. I am running the Intel 660p M.2 NVMe drive from my main boot drive. I got the WL 3TB 7200 RPM hard drive from my mass storage. It mainly contains my videos and all that, my recordings for the videos. This thing says the Wraith Spire LED cooler, which I've actually switched that out here recently. I am running the Hyper T4 cooler. So yeah, that's about the only thing different from that. As far as what I do with it, I mainly do video editing with it. You know, I mean, I use it for my day-to-day tasks as well. I do go in and pay my bills and check my emails and everything like that. Main task that I've got it built for is for video editing for the YouTube and for doing the stream. Which kind of brings me up to, you know, a couple weeks back I said I was going to get the 2070 Super from my system. Just due to the way everything's happening right now, I can't see much sense in spending the $500 for the for a graphics card when, oh, excuse me, but you know, I can't see spending $500 for a graphics card when that $500 could be used towards other places right now. So maybe once I get back on my feet a little bit better than what I am now financially, maybe I'll go ahead and buy that 2070 Super. But with that being said, I did get me a new product back there today. UPS man just dropped it off about a half hour ago. It's a new monitor for my setup. Last week my monitor fell over and busted, so I had to get me a new monitor. So you guys are getting a look at that. Probably this week's video will probably be on it. But yeah, my system's pretty well set up for video editing and some gaming when I get a chance to do so. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Let's see here. Flip you guys back over here. Chronicle TTV 2 days ago. Asus Prime X470 Pro motherboard unboxing and overview. He says, thank you very much. Well, you're welcome. I hope you found some information that was useful about that motherboard in that video. I want to thank you for watching and thank you for the comment. The next one I got here was on how to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. That was Andrika Seka, I guess is the way you pronounce that, which I guess it was edited. If I have F41, can I take the F51, or I must do F50 first? If you're on F41 on that Gigabyte motherboard, you can take it straight to the top. You don't have to do F50 to go up to F51. You should be able to take it straight up. Let me look at it up and make sure I'm correct on that one. But I believe so. I think as long as you're up to F30, F40, you should be able to jump straight up to the top, which is F50. Because everything says you have to do the updates for F40 before doing the updates up to the latest one. So yeah, as long as you're running F40 or above, which you said you're running F41, you should be good to go. But thanks for watching and thanks for the comment. Next one is upgrade and rebuild in the Cooler Master Half XB Evo of 2019. That's when I went from the old pile driver to the 2400. Mathis Alephus, I guess is the way you pronounce that. How is the temperature in this case? I ran that case for several years. I ran the 8730 or the 8370, which is the bulldozer architecture with the R9380X graphics card, and I had no problems with my temperatures. It is designed to be a high airflow case. That's how the HAF comes into play. I never had no problems. And I only ran it with the two front intakes. I never had any exhaust on it. And even in the middle of video editing and gaming and everything else I was doing with that system in that case, even with them hot components back in the day, I had no problem with it. The airflow seemed to be pretty good. My temperatures was fine. You know, if you wanted to, there is a mount on top for a 200 millimeter fan to help pull the heat out. There's also I believe it's an 80 millimeter fan mount in the back of it if you want to add extra exhaust to it. But like I said, I only ran the front intakes, and I seem to be doing good on it. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Let's see, how to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. Boss, I want to ask if this board will work fine with the 8 gigabyte Corsair RGB Pro 3200 megahertz with only XMP active and not manual overclocking. By the way, my processor will be the Ryzen 5 2600 as well. Corsairs came out and said that their RAM ain't necessarily compatible with AMD Ryzen right out of the box to run XMP. You'd be kind of taking a gamble on that kit. I don't have the exact kit to be testing. And like I mentioned earlier, even if it's on the QEL list, it seems to be a little finicky. And that was Carl John Lauron, I guess the way you pronounce that. It was on how to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450M DS3H motherboard. I really can't give you a straight answer on that. I'm not sure. I don't have that RAM to be able to test with the motherboard. And when you go testing RAM kits with motherboards, because one person has good results with it, don't mean everybody's going to have good results with it. Just because of the capacitors and whatnot on the motherboards and whatnot. But, I really don't know. Really don't know if it'll work with XMP without having to manually overclock it or not. I really can't answer that question. But I'd like to know how it turns out for you if you try it. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. Let's see here, how to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H port 3. Hacking hacker fucker. Great content you make. Love your work. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos I put out. I try to make them pretty informative and steer you guys in the right direction on what you guys are looking up and try to get you going the right way. But thanks for watching, and thanks for the comment. I enjoy reading them kind of comments. But it seems like that's about all I got for today, guys. It's like I said, I didn't do no research on any kind of tech news or anything like that going on this week, which I probably should have. It's only been, a little less than a half hour on this week's show. But I really don't have much more to talk about this week. If you guys are wondering, for the last couple of weeks, my videos have been kind of scarce. The video editing software that I was using for some reason quit rendering out my videos. Every time I'd render it out, even if it was a video I'd try to re-render, it'd come up with drop frames and it refused to do it and whatnot. So I've been researching and trying to find me a new video editing software, which I think I finally figured out. I think I finally got me another one that's going to be doing all right. So I should be able to get back on track with my regular content, my tech videos and whatnot. The Borderlands 3, they've been going up on a regular basis like they was. The walkthrough of Borderlands 3. It's because they've already been recorded, they was already edited before my editing software decided to quit rendering out my videos. So that's why they've been going up, because they've been done before this. You'll probably see some new art on the channel. I've been playing around with GIMP, which is what I use to create my thumbnails and whatnot. A couple weeks back, if you watched the show, someone said I need to improve on my thumbnails, and I agree with them. I should. you know, which the big reason why my thumbnails are what they are is because I don't have a whole lot of time to put into making each one of them, which I'm starting to look into GIMP and seeing what all is available with GIMP that I could really make them stick out a little bit better than what they have been. I mean, you know, you look over here on these thumbnails over here on the side, they're pretty basic, pretty easy to throw together within a couple minutes, you know. So yeah, that's one thing you can be watching out for here in the next week or so, maybe a couple weeks. Just you know, I've been trying to learn how to do this, and it's got a pretty good learning curve to it. But I'm unfortunately I'm off work for the next couple of weeks, so I should be able to get back to my regular content and getting it up like I should. Hopefully, I can get some extra tech videos put up because this is a tech channel. The Borderlands 3, the last episode's going up this week, is a walkthrough of the main storyline behind it. I don't know if I'm going to continue with it or if I'm going to start a new game. I guess I'll figure it out here soon to see what I'm going to do with that. But yeah, with all that being said, I think I'm going to get out of here for today, guys. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you liked this today. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. There's that comment section. I'll go through them next weekend on the live show. I'm hoping to get back into the regular, doing it every week like I was there for a while. I know I missed a couple here and there, but I'm going to try to get back into doing it every weekend. And don't forget that lonely little subscribe button down there and that notification bell if you haven't already turned them on. That way you know next time I put out a video, I'll go live here on YouTube. And with all that being said, you all have a good Saturday. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream.